So let's review this one quick. Okay. So argumentative essays, what's the purpose? To argue to get the other side to see your point of view, right? Okay. So how do you start an essay regardless of whatever the essay is? What's the first thing you write? Huh? Your intro paragraph. Okay, so that's step one. Janessa, do you remember how to write an intro paragraph?
Yeah, you need to have, I don't remember the first thing, but I know you have to have background info.
Okay. So we do the upside down triangle, right? Because we want to start out as broad as possible with our hook. That's where we want to be really, really broad. Because we want to be able to draw in the reader of any background. Okay, so what's the hook again? Usually a question, a statement, a definition, something that's going to intrigue the reader. Okay? Hold on. Okay, so first step is a hook. What comes after the hook? Background information. Janessa, do you remember what goes in the background information?
It's not like anything that like gives the reader like information so they understand like your topic, but it doesn't need to be a body paragraph.
Yes. So what does your reader need to know in order to understand your essay? Okay, does that make sense? So it's like if you're writing about a book, you need to like let them know what the book is, what it's about, who's the author. In this case, you're choosing a controversial topic, right? You might want to give some background. Like, Jess, you're doing abortion? Okay, so you might want to give some background on why that's controversial, okay, and maybe what's going on in the world right now, or with legalities, so like laws that are happening at this moment, okay? Kiara, you're doing social media, right? So you might want to provide some information on social media and why this is all controversial, okay? Lastly, Riley Pratt, what's the last thing you do in an introductory paragraph? Thesis. Okay, what is a thesis?
It's going to summarize, it's going to list
Yes, okay, so exactly what your essay is going to talk about. For an argumentative essay, it is 20% of your grade, whether or not you can develop a thesis statement. Guys, what are you doing?
Is this tutorial?
Yeah, but don't go back.
Can we please?
No. I don't have the ability today to, like, micromanage in two different places, you know what I mean?
Yeah, gotcha.
Sorry, guys. Does that make sense? Because if you can't give me a claim, how are you going to have an argument if you cannot have a general claim? Okay? So exactly what your argument is. Okay, any questions? Riley, Janessa, Kiara, you guys good? Okay. All right, what's the second part? So 2 through 4, unless you have more, are the same as body paragraphs, right? This is the part where we probably need to review, right? What's up?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So on Code's tracker, oh wait, I don't know where I put it. Oh yeah, it says he has algebra 2, but I
Guys, we're going down.
This,
Okay, just take it into your forward, did you?
I have separate codes for consumer math instead. Should I just write that in?
Oh, is this right into the
No.
Oh, yeah, you read it. Okay, so body paragraphs. Who feels the absolute worst of body paragraphs? Which one of you? Riley, how do you feel? Okay, let's do it then. So with the argumentative body paragraphs, it's almost the same as an expository or informative essay. You just have a counter argument and a rebuttal. Okay? So what's the first thing that you always start with in an argumentative essay, or in a body paragraph? Topic sentence. Okay, good. What do you do in a topic sentence? What's the point of it? What do you introduce? Your first support for your claim, right? So if I'm arguing whether dogs or cats are the better pet, my claim might be that dogs are the better pet. My first body paragraph, my topic sentence might be dogs are the better pet because they protect you in times of danger, right? Then my whole body paragraph is going to be on that, okay? So what comes after the topic sentence? Or sentences, right? There could be more than one. You can introduce your claim in a number of ways. What comes after the introduction of that support? Evidence. Okay. And do you just hit me with a quote or do you introduce your quote? Do not hit me with a quote, okay? I can't stand up lately. So evidence. This is a quote or a paraphrase, right? Where you're still going to do your in-text citation. You remember how to do in-text citations? Okay. With articles, it's just going to be quote, author, last name. If you don't have the author, do you know what you cite? The title. So if the article is 10 ways dogs are better than cats, that's literally what you would put in your in-text citation if you don't have an author. Okay? So anytime you're citing an article, or like a research document, anything like that, you're citing the author. If there's no author, title. Alright. No, you can just put the first one. And how do you know which is the first one? Alphabetical. Okay? So when you do your actual work cited, that first author is going to be there, so just put that person. Okay? 3, what comes after our evidence? What do you mean by explain your evidence, Jonathan? How does this prove this? Okay. After you explain, then you get into your counter argument. Riley, you remember what a counter argument is?
Something might say like this.
Yeah, to throw off your argument. Okay, so that's your counter argument. So if I'm going to say that dogs are the better pets than cats because they protect you in times of danger, a counter argument might be that dogs are dangerous themselves, right? And I can provide some evidence of like dog attacks, right? Like there was one on the bike trail this past weekend, where there was a homeless woman with a dog who the dog attacked a walker and almost killed the dog. Okay, now what's a rebuttal? Kiara?
It's like when you go back and say, although there's like a counter argument, this is why this way is.
Yes. Okay. So I see what you mean with your side of the argument, but here's why my argument or my opinion is still valid. Okay? So although some dogs are dangerous, I might find some research that proves that the danger of dogs has to do with how they're trained, how they're owned, right? Therefore making dogs still a better pet. Lastly, I need a concluding sentence, okay? So what is the last thing you're going to say about this? Okay, guys. This is where you should tie it back to the prompt. So whatever your argument is, argue whether or not abortion should be legal. Argue whether or not social media is positive or negative. What are you doing?
Education versus.
Okay. Argue whether or not the United States values education or prison more. Okay? The concluding sentence is where you should tie that back in. Therefore, this proves. Therefore, this argument concludes. Tie that back in so it's all very connected. Okay? 20% of your grade is your cohesion, how you can connect different areas of your argument together. All right? That can be tied up in there. All right. Do you remember how to do this? Okay. This is bringing back bells. We're good? Ready? Okay. So after we have our body paragraphs, what do we end with? What's the last type of paragraph? Concluding paragraph. Okay. Conclusion. Another 20% of your grade is the conclusion, okay? Because if you cannot end an argument well, that's not a good argument, right? So you got to figure out, don't get to the conclusion, like, I'm going to write 2 sentences and we're done. Don't do that, because this part's really important for your grade, okay? So find a way to wrap up your argument really well. So let's go over how to do that really quick. Let's do blue. Okay. So now it's the opposite. Now we're going to go really narrow to really broad with the conclusion. What's the first thing you want to do in a conclusion, Riley?
Restate your thesis.
Yes. You want to hit that thesis again, okay? Just in case your argument waned at all in the reader's minds, you're going to hit them right back into it, okay? What do you do after you summarize your thesis? Janessa, do you remember? You're going to summarize what?
Don't you summarize your body paragraphs.
Your main ideas, yes. Okay, you're going to do a quick review of the main points that you hit. Okay, you don't have to list them in a certain order. You just want to make sure that you're repeating what was most important about your argument. Okay, most important, what is it, Kiara? Call to action. What's a call to action?
That's why, like, say, this is why I wrote this.
Okay. You guys got to choose your topics. Obviously, you think that's somewhat important or you're passionate about it, whatever, okay? Put that in here. Build it up. Why is your side important? Why is it important to be talking about this? Okay? All right. A couple more things to go over. There we go. Okay, how do we feel? We can do it? Okay, I think you guys got this pretty easily. So I want to go over works cited, because you guys need to have a works cited. Do you know where to go? Do you remember how to do this? So there are two resources. One is Purdue OWL, and I'll send out a link with this. Okay, on the left-hand side, right here, you'll go to works cited. And what are you guys primarily using? Websites, right? So you're going to go to electronic sources. Okay, are you citing an entire website or just a web page? Just a web page. Okay, so you're not citing the entire website. You're citing a page on a website. So it says for an individual page, list the author. Okay, so right here, followed by an indication specific page. So the title. Usually the title appears in a header at the top of the page. Follow this with the information covered above for entire websites. If the publisher is the same as the website, only list it once. Okay. So basically, author, if you don't have the author, you skip it and you just do the title. The actual website, okay? So for example, if you got it off of like CNN, you would put the name and then you put CNN, the date you accessed it, and then the URL. It's super easy, okay? So this is one way to do it, and I'll copy and paste this and send it out to people at home. And then there's also Noodle Tools. Do you guys remember this one? Okay, so Noodle Tools, you guys can sign in with your school email address and you already have an account. So you can either, like, here's an argumentative essay. Actually, I'm going to show you how to do this in the beginning. You're going to do a new project. We want it to be MLA, and we'll put junior, I guess. Argumentative essay. Research. Submit. Do you know what to do next? You're going to go up here to the top and go to sources. Create a new citation. Okay. It's a website. It's just a web page. Whichever is easier for you. Okay. Either to like fill in the blanks or do this. It doesn't matter. They're both going to be accurate. So you're going to type in the URL, the date of the publication, if it's there. Do you guys know what that means? Date of publication? When that site was posted. Sites in the old days, they all used to have the date it was published. Usually now it's just like if it's a news article, you can see it, so it might not be there. Contributors, okay, so the author, if there's more than one, put that. Name of the website, so again, if you find it on CNN, if you find it on, I don't know, any other website, okay, that's what you're going to put. Not the URL, but the actual website it's published on. Alright, you guys got it? It's really easy. It should not be any more confusing than it is right now. Okay, Hannah, do you need? Alright. Okay, with that said, what you guys have to do is you're going to do a graphic organizer. I want this in by Sunday at midnight. So you can either click it here, and it'll look like this. So with this graphic organizer, you put your claim here, right? Your reasons, your evidence, your counter-argument, your rebuttal, and then your conclusion.
How do we open this, though?
So I'll print it for you, or you can do it. You can just insert text boxes. Oh, I guess in this it's a drawing, right?
You're not explaining your evidence.
No. So this is just, you are not writing your entire essay here. You are just mapping out where you want to go so that you can change it easily. But I would recommend just printing it out. If this is like way too overwhelming for you, you can do a normal outline. You can do any kind of outline that you want to do if this does not work. Okay? This is just a resource. I don't want this to be more confusing if your brain does not work in this typographic way. Alright? And then the other thing, your first draft of this essay is due Tuesday, April 23rd at 8 a.m. Okay, so you guys have all of spring break to write this essay and do research. That's all you have to do over the break. Okay, you're welcome.